Adam.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Frank Donga, and you're listening to Boom Radio. Boom Radio. Keep listening. Don't touch it.
Yes, sir, yes, ma'am. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is the Boom Bar from Lagos, Nigeria. It's not hot, it's not wet, it's just Lagos, Nigeria. And my name is Shola Rogers.
My name is Oladelukwa. You know, the one and only.
With a little bit less luster. Hey, no. The one and only.
Sorry, just
Sorry.
take me a little bit like that.
You know, just
But
some,
you know, I'll try and
just some
you know,
personal,
at times when you get into the groove, it just helps you.
just
But
some
what?
personal
What?
things
What?
that she's trying to work out.
I just have a headache. That's all.
Yeah,
Nothing more
which
than
was
that.
necessitated by the personal.
Which
things.
personality
Well,
are
you
you
know,
trying to work out?
We're
What
not-
did I?
we're not supposed
What did I
to-
inform you that is wrong with me that I'm trying to work out?
I can't rat on her.
There's nothing
That's
to
all.
rat. There's
So,
nothing that you're
What
ratting
it
on.
is what it is.
What
you
is
know?
it?
But what it
what?
is here right now is that we missed you guys. We haven't been here since Friday, and amazing feedback we're getting from different people. The people who like some of the things that we said, and people that don't like them, please keep them coming. God bless you. God
Yeah.
guide you. God keep, because we learn and get better.
Yeah, we do
from
actually
these
do.
things. You know, there's only a dumb person that doesn't want to be criticized. You put yourself out there in public, and you don't want to be criticized, or you don't want to be advised. Oh God, move. So thank you. My name is Shola Rogers once again, and Dolupo has left the building.
Please, I'll not leave the building in Jesus' name. What's that?
Hey,
Hey, see
hey.
this life, oh.
if
In
any,
flesh and blood. See how they want to eject me.
If-
The devil is a liar.
if any human being knows how to wake this one up, it's me. See the way you were sounding before. See the way you're sounding now.
See how they just want to remove me.
Mission accomplished.
Please, oh, everybody listening, I'm right here. Thank you very much.
And in case you are listening, you know, one of the feedback was from one of our long-time listeners, and he said that the voices don't match the faces. So you want to confirm what he's talking about, please head to YouTube now. You find us, Boom Radio NG. That's our YouTube channel. Leave us a comment there, like, you know, share, say something nice, or otherwise. We don't mind.
Any which way.
You know, but we have a whole lot of stuff to talk about today, and some of them are things that we're pending from yesterday that we still feel they're relevant and we want to talk about and prefer solutions.
Okay, so as we get right into today's show, okay.
It must always happen.
Oh gosh, that was actually got started.
I apologize.
Anyway, let's get right into today's show. They're going to be talking about a few things. Esa's friend is in the news again.
Yeah, she's trying to rile me up, but you know, I'm wise to that now.
He's in the news. Former presidents are in the news. You know, more like the issue of there are a lot of governors and states that are in the news today, basically from issues of election matters to procurement matters. That we're going to be talking about it. Also, federal government is planning to cancel a lot of taxes. I think that should be a good thing, right?
Well, we'll find out.
We'll find out. We'll see.
Because it's not everything that sounds good that is good. It's not everything that sounds bad that is bad. So we'll find
Any
out.
which way, so let's get right into it. As an Abuja court has now granted the former CBN governor, he has granted former CBN governor bail again for 300 million naira this time. This time is, I think, basically. Sorry, please, can you fix your microphone? It's basically about the issue of I think procurement. Yeah, some procurement fraud that he was arraigned for last week. He has now been granted a 300 million naira bill. Please, they said procurement fraud of 1.2 billion. Why is the bill 300 million? That's like a quarter.
Yeah, 300 million.
Yeah, it's a quarter.
One, is it just 300 million one off?
For bill now.
There's nothing like in like some and all those other extras that are actually pointed out. Like
okay.
maybe like 300 million from two different
So
people.
he has granted bill to tune of
landed
300
property.
million. Said the shorties must have certificate of occupancy and titles of property within Maitama district in Abuja. Has also asked to deposit all his travel documents with the registrar of the court. I'm guessing he has already done that now.
Yeah, well, they have to always put it out there. You don't assume, because it's a different judge.
Oh yeah, I get it. I'm just saying that. Remember, there's one bill that he was already supposed to do that. So anyway, Sha, he's going to be kept in Kuje Correctional Center until his bail conditions are met. We do not know if those bail conditions are met. But I was going to say something. Something popped up in my head, and if we look back at the track record of CBN governors, I think that I would say that his own is kind of like the different one, yeah? Like, if we go back to it, at least the CBN governors I grew up knowing, yeah? So, before him, I think was SLS.
What is SLS?
No, I'm just saying, I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to figure it out before I literally trying to figure it out. The Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi, that's him, right?
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. So yes, so he was this former CBN governor, and he went on to become an emir. It seems to be, even though he's not an emir anymore, he seems to be a very respected person in the in society. Yeah, even as Nigeria as a whole, and even outside Nigeria. Before that, there's Charles Soludo, who's the current governor of Anambra State. I'm not sure I can remember exactly other people, but I'm not sure that I remember any CBN governor being this humiliated after leaving office.
I like to take exception to your use of the word humiliated. I'm not going to mince words about my feelings about Mr. Emefiele and of the alleged crimes that he has committed, allegedly.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
I've said alleged 3 times now.
Okay, we've heard you now.
That's
we heard you.
indemnifying both of us. So
why are you adding me to your matter?
I'm protecting you, no.
Oh.
You know, but on a real to real, I don't care, but I just don't like your usage of the word humiliated. Because why didn't they take Soludo to court? Why didn't they take Sanusi Lamido to court? Why didn't they take any of those guys to court? Do you understand? Why is he the only CBN governor that they are taking to court? Because he has allegedly committed crimes that actually require the court to look into. So I don't care if he's being humiliated or not. I really just care about having a better country.
It is a lot for someone like a CBN governor. Like, it was.
It's only human. It's like you and me. There's nothing a lot about it. It's just some regular Joe like everybody. The fact that he had a job, a well-paying job, to also supervise the economy and all of that, does not make him anything special, because he's not the first and he's not the last. There's already someone there now. They've even moved on. They've actually cleared out the entire CBN board, and they have a new board of directors and everything. So what's special? A guy came and he worked with 3 presidents. That's what makes him special. What did he do? What did he do that was special that Nigerians will look and say, oh, God bless Emefiele for this and that? What are his legacies? You know? So, again, my own issue is with the bail. Like,
it shouldn't have been granted bail.
What bail is he getting for what? And you see, this is the problem with this country. And my problem, I'm one of the people that always say that the law cares nothing about your sentiments. Yes, I say that. But, however, I still have a problem with the law in the sense that you see there are a lot of people who say, what's it called now, who commit lesser crimes. They even confess to those crimes. And, they get some kind of steep punishments. And you see people who commit
status actually.
But they said the law doesn't care about that.
Yeah, right.
That's what they say, Abi. That the law, that the lady of justice is blind. Every statue of her that you see has a veil on her eyes. That means she doesn't look at you. She just has that sword and the scale to balance your judgment and stab you. Sorry, and just hold the sword for. But I am not very happy with the way it is going, and I just hope that it doesn't disappear and jump bail. And let's see how he's going to even perfect this bill. Because really, honestly, come on now. If this man was working based on his salary, based on his legitimate earnings, he won't even be able to meet these bail conditions. But a man that is said to have supervised all sorts of deals allegedly worth trillions of naira, he will pull it off.
Okay, so we'll see where all that is going. Like, I just wanted to actually just put out there because it just occurred to me, like, okay, this is a lot. Now, moving on from that, and we're moving on to I think electoral matters. Let's do electoral matters, but electoral matters, and let's start from Kano. So the latest news coming from Kano is that the certified true copies of the appeal court was released to lawyers was stating that the governor, the appeal by the governor was who sent the appeal? Yeah, that the appeal basically that the governor was not sacked. That was basically what the certified true copies, which was in contradiction to the judgment that was given last week that was sacking the governor. And of course, a lot of people had a lot of things to say about it, which obviously it did not make sense. Now, according to stories, according to reports actually, the appeal court has asked for a recall of this documents, that it was a mistake and they're trying to retrieve them.
Let us maybe take a deep dive. I don't know how much deeper we want to go into this Kano judgment. Now, for the people who are hearing about it for the first time or who seek a little bit of clarity, which is our job, the governor of Kano State, Abba Yusuf, is of the NNPP. And a few months ago or weeks ago, after he was sworn in, let me just mention the part that doesn't really concern the case. He went on a destruction spree.
How does that affect it?
I said I'm mentioning it anyway. He went on a demolition spree. So I call him Demolition Man. Allegedly. So he's done that. And the opposition in Kano, which is APC, took him to court saying he didn't win. And the court agreed with the APC, looking at the fact that there were over 160,000 votes that were counted for him that were not duly accredited.
Yeah, that was from the tribunal. That was the tribunal.
Yeah, that's the first court that they went to, the tribunal. Thank you. So they'd done that, and there was an appeal by him. So at the appeal court upheld the judgment of the lower court. Not only that, even went as far as saying that he did not even qualify to contest.
Yeah.
Saying that it was not duly registered as an NNPP member, as at the time the party was supposed to be holding primaries. And we also found out that there were no primaries. So imagine a child that didn't go to primary school that just quickly went to secondary school. Apart from people like us who are geniuses, it's very rare. You understand what I'm saying, people? What? So anyhow, back to the gist. The thing is, now that we have established that, the judges a few days ago now said that he is no longer a governor. But the law allows him to go to the next level, which is the final stage, and that is the Supreme Court. Now, at the Supreme Court, the job of the Supreme Court is to look at what the appellate court has said And the Supreme Court would usually not take in new evidences. So it looks like someone who has lost twice in 2 courts, back to back, will most likely be removed.
Funny thing is that, the sad part for him is that the 2 courts have pointed out 2 different things. Completely 2 different things. One was sacking him on the basis that the votes that were counted for him, a lot of them were not signed by INEC. The second court goes on to say that he shouldn't have even contested in the first place. So I don't see him coming out of this. It's a very, very difficult one for him, especially for a very controversial person, very controversial governor who went on a demolition spree.
How is that relevant to the case? You see,
I said controversial.
And you are not mentioning it, but when I said it was bad.
It was just very.
No. When I said it, it was bad. But when you say it,
deliberate.
When you said it wasn't.
Any which way. Now.
So back to what I was saying. Any which way, according to Madam's language. The thing here is that when the Supreme Court takes into cognizance all of this, I'm preempting them, but they will most likely uphold the judgments of these 2 courts. Now, what I really wanted to establish is judgments are read, and presented. And some of these cases are actually broadcast live. Mm-hmm. Now, when that is done, the certified true copy is now prepared and handed to the defense and the prosecution. Mm-hmm. When they have that, they can now use it to prepare for the next stage of the cases or just for their filing and documentation. Now it emerges that the CTC, that is the certified true copy, that the lawyers were given, says that Abba Yusuf won at the courts. It is not something that you can fathom. Like, you cannot wrap your head. There's no way in the world that a judgment goes a certain way and the CTC reads something different. It's like when people keep saying, oh, the courts are biased, the judiciary is not on top of their game, the judiciary is biased, they want to have a judiciocracy in Nigeria. Then you go ahead and do this. And guess what the judiciary is saying in their defense? Oh, it's an honest mistake. And they're asking the lawyers to bring that CTC back to get another one. How was this manufactured in the first place?
Yeah, my question
Where did it come from?
Certified true copies, yeah? Isn't it what was read for everybody to hear?
Where did it come from?
Isn't that what they just replicate?
Where did it come from?
So it's either maybe there was a judgment before that was changed, or somebody in the court is trying to be funny. Because I don't understand how this makes any sense. Never heard of it before. But looks like it's happening, you know. They say that something is nothing is ever new, but I think this is actually a new occurrence.
No, it's happened some people have already cited some other cases where the CTC was also, you know.
But still, like, how does that even happen? Because my question still remains: is it not what you read that they just replicate? Why is it so difficult?
I believe that the Nigerian judiciary has not covered itself in glory.
Yes,
in this
on this particular one, especially with a very controversial governorship election. Now, still talking about the Kano elections, and now we're adding the Plateau elections, which the governor was also sacked by the appeal court. There was an event where the former president Olusegun Obasanjo had talked about how he does not feel that some 3 or 4 or 5 judges should be able to determine what happens to the votes of people. And I find it very interesting and very, very funny. It's a conversation for like the last couple of days since I think Friday and Saturday. I think the Plateau governor was sacked on Sunday. So since over the weekend, it's been a conversation a lot of people have had, and even the PDP is accusing the APC of having the judiciary in their pocket, and they want a one-party system, and all that and all that and all that. Funny enough, these two states, if it goes to the Supreme Court, at least the judgment of the weekend definitely seem to have favored the ruling party in both states. Now, my issue with this is that people are making it seem, and the truth, and it's almost like we're seeing the same thing that happened just before the elections. A lot of things that people popped up and talked about, and it was shocking to me because we're like that. Is it that people just suddenly understand this is how our system works? Why it's shocking to me is that it's not the first or the second or third or fourth time that governors will be sacked. In fact, that is the reason why we have off-cycle elections. If we go to the case of Osun State, a governor was sacked there that made, I think it was former Governor Aregbesola, it was the court that decided that he was governor. If we move from that, we go to Ekiti State, and it was I think it was Shegoni that was sacked there that made former Governor Fayemi become governor. If we move all the way to Ondo State, I think it was I can't remember who the governor was, but I think it was the courts that made Governor Mimiko governor at that point in time. So
it was Agagu, the late Agagu.
Yes, it was the late Agagu that was sacked at that point, and he became governor. In fact, these people, a lot of them had been governor for about close to 3 years. Some they had almost ended their tenure when the courts sacked them. Now, if we move all the way to the east, it is the same thing that happened in Imo State with Governor Uzodinma. It's the same thing that happened in Bayelsa State. In fact, Bayelsa State zone was very, very interesting because it was the day before the inauguration that the governor was sacked. Right there, he was rehearsing when he was sacked. Keep in mind. Then we move on. There's this other state, Zamfara State. In the case of which I feel that for some people like PDP, they're very hypocritical. Why I say so is that in the case of Bayelsa and worse of Zamfara State, those two states, their candidates did not even win an election. They were not close to winning an election. It had nothing to do with whether the election was free and fair. It was about the APC and their primaries are not having their house in order, and these people got sacked. These people won elections fair and square, but they still got sacked. And the PDP gained from that issue. It is the reason why Doye Ediri is governor of, what's it called? It was the governor of Bayelsa State. It was how Governor Matawale became governor. They did not win an election. And that's the truth. Which we could also argue, the fact in court that even though these people, there were issues with the person, we could also say that the votes belong to the party. So the party could have brought somebody else. That's also another conversation that comes up from time to time. But you have also been beneficiaries of this judicial system. So now that you seem to be on the receiving end, why do you have a problem with it? Keep in mind, there are actually issues brought up by the courts.
Okay.
That makes sense.
All right. My take is first thing first. I'm going to look at former President Obasanjo, and say that he came in to be president in 1999 when I never really opened. When I say I never really, now to the non-Nigerians who don't understand broken English, it means that when Nigerians were not really aware of a whole lot of stuff, like for instance, sending in the military to go and flatten an entire village, or
That would probably be like a war crime or something.
It's something that you cannot do today. No president in Nigeria can do it because it needs approval here and there, but President Obasanjo did it under the same constitution. For instance, President Obasanjo declared state of emergency in some states. And what that means constitutionally is that the governor stops being governor and he appoints an administrator. Yes, it happened. Abi?
Oh, yeah. I think it happened in Ekiti. It happened in
It happened. So what I'm trying to establish is that President Obasanjo, when he was president for 8 years as a civilian president, was more of a dictator, and he never really cared about the courts. He never really respected the courts. So is it okay to say that he never really cares about the court? Because if he did, and if he does, he would realize that that's why the courts are there in the first place. Whether they are 3 men or 1 man or 9 men or women, as the case may be, sitting on a case, they are there because that's what their job is. And we have all agreed. Because if we don't, then we would not accept the Constitution. Before you go into politics, you already know the possibilities of having to rely on the judiciary. So I don't know him waking up one day and having this harebrained idea that the judiciary doesn't have the powers that we all know they are vested in them. These powers are vested in the judiciary. So former President Obasanjo comes up with ideas. But look at him. He's a PDP card carrying member, destroys his PDP membership card, then comes back to say he's not supporting anybody. Then supports this person, then supports that person, then has this candidate and all of that. Then he starts to say, okay, there's a lot of flip-flopping going on here. And everything also points to character. Now, I like certain aspects of him, especially when it comes to international diplomacy. Like, one country starts to move funny around Nigeria, he moves funny straight. Oh, God, don't come near Nigeria. I like him for that, especially. But the other aspects of him, especially when it comes to the rule of law, I think there's a whole lot that he should have done differently, that he did not do, and it's too late for him anyway. So coming up with funny remedies for democracy and talking about how the judiciary should not have the powers that they have don't make any sense. Because that's why the judiciary are there.
That's why the judiciary is
now,
there.
to talk about the PDP, I know Tolupo said a lot about them, so it's fine. I'm just going to say that when it comes to the PDP, they are doing what they are expected to do. As politicians, they cannot come and praise the government of the day. Because if they do, that means their relevance is gone. They have outlived their relevance, and they now a rubber stamp opposition party. So, of course, they have to complain. Even when they know that they are being hypocritical, they have to complain. Even when they know that they got Zamfara State 4 years ago on a platter, like you lost an election with over 300,000 votes margin, or in Bayelsa where they lost over 200,000 votes, I said dollars. I'm not going to mind make that dollar enter, margin. They would, say what they have to say. But politics is very funny, it's very quirky, a whole lot of things happen. And what I pray for is a judiciary that is not afraid of anybody.
Anybody, yeah.
A judiciary that can look the so-called president in the eye and say, hey, you got to go. And these are the proof or the reasons why. Again, but the law does not care about your feelings or your emotions. It is about your prayers.
That's what I'm saying.
And your proof.
So what's the point of the law and the point of a judiciary sitting if you're going to say that we can't just allow a few people to sit down and... but I thought that in the same vein, it was this same people and same us that was okay when, if we go all the way to Kenya with that, the court sacked a president. It was okay then. It's almost like it's only when we feel that it's affecting us, then there's a problem.
That's how it works. That's the system.
That doesn't make any sense.
When something goes your way, you cheer. And when it doesn't, you do what? You holla. No way, this is wrong.
Like we're all here in this country when the issue in Bayelsa State, where the governor-elect was sacked because of credentials of his deputy, which they later found out was not even needed. So do you understand? Like, and here we are. Nobody has even heard of the man anymore.
That's why, again, like I said a few days ago, some things happen and you start to look like, is this Big Brother world or something? Like, is this scripted? Are we just supposed to flow with the flow? Because at times, some decisions happen in the court and you're like, okay.
And it's, I personally even believe that there are a lot of court judgments that are not even in sync. One is saying something, but the truth is that the court is the court, and whatever proclamation the court says, everybody is supposed to abide by it. So,
and even when you don't agree, you still have the option of the appeal and going as far as Supreme. But when the Supreme Court speaks, it's
there's really nothing anybody can do about it. And really, I think people should just suck it up, go to Supreme Court. Whatever comes out with the Supreme Court, we deal with it and we move on.
Yeah, really, and all the people that waste their time going to courts outside Nigeria, do you see that it doesn't work? It doesn't, actually. I have a friend that got a judgment at the ECOWAS court against, he was actually wrongfully incarcerated by a certain governor, instigated by a governor for him to be arrested and all of that. And he was awarded some millions of naira in compensation.
Where is the money?
My guy never see shishi. Shishi, see.
Let's just be looking at ourselves. Any which way, let's move on. Then I'm still talking about the courts. But before we leave the marshal of the courts or leave Kano, the Kano governor, which we don't know if he's still going to be Kano governor in a few weeks.
Abba Yusuf.
He's saying that all this
demolition man.
All these issues around him is targeted at Kwakwanso and not him. That's why they're using him to target Kwakwanso. But keep in mind, is Kwakwanso's son-in-law now?
Yeah. But
makes sense.
There's something that
makes sense actually.
There's something that I wish politicians would do, and this is in maybe another world. Maybe it will happen in utopia, but not in this world that we live in. But for a minute, Mr. Abba Yusuf, did you really qualify to be governor? Did you compete in the primaries? Were your names sent on time before the window closed? These are the issues. But you know what? Let us all deflect.
We're going to be sentimental about it.
Everybody else. These are the issues. And these are the things that we need to ask ourselves. Again, over and over and over again. Respect to the lawyers. But I see a lot of people get confused. Like, how come a lawyer is defending this guy? Can't they see they have to. It's their job. It's their job.
Money.
Job, not money. Job.
Money.
And everybody has to have representation.
Money is slow to enter.
So it's funny how Mr. Abba Yusuf is deflecting now and saying that, this actually is targeted at Kwankwaso. Nobody's targeting anything.
The thing is that
if
you
left
did
the door open.
Yeah, exactly. Even if, let's even assume it was even targeted at Kwankwaso, you literally gave the opposition ammunition against yourself, basically. So I think that let's stick with the issues. Anyway, still talking about the court. The court has restrained in Rivers State. Remember that they have 2 speakers and all that. Court has said that everybody should maintain status quo. Basically, there is no sitting until there is a court judgment for people that do not understand what is happening. So I think about 2 weeks ago, there was a lot of drama that came from River State where 8 people had, 24 people out of 32 had sacked or impeached the majority leader. Then he went ahead with about 8 people and then decided to sack the chief judge, impeach the sitting speaker, make himself speaker, and there was a lot of drama. So now in Rivers State there's supposed to be 2 speakers and 2 deputy speakers and all that. So now court has said everybody should calm down and everybody should maintain status quo, and that until there is a proper court judgment, everybody should just calm down. I think that at this point, quickly, it is not a bad idea that the House of Representatives, I'm guessing they're basically in charge of the state's houses of assembly, they need to actually do something about it and something fast.
Well, when the issue broke out and the story was said that the governor of River State, Sim Fubara, that is his name, always reminds me of the SIM card. Sim Fubara was at loggerheads with the immediate past governor, whom we know he worked when he was the accountant general of Rivers State. Since it was said that they were loggerheads and it was said that the matters had been resolved, you would have thought that they had resolved everything and they had done some house cleaning. Because, of course, we shouldn't be hearing about this type of stories again. If really and truly they have actually, put down the guns and everybody is now talking like brothers. Again, it's an aberration for a few people to get together and say they are sitting when the majority of the members of the house are not there. It's an aberration for you to say you have a new speaker and the speaker is someone that the larger house had suspended. It's an aberration when the mace is not there and all of those things. They should just get back and go back to the way things were. Then if they want to now do it, they must do it the right way within the confines of the law.
Anyway, Trey, so we'll see where the drama from River State is going. We don't know. Remember, there's also talks of impeaching the governor.
Yes, but I'm sure, like I said, that there's the story that even the governor had come out to say that everything is A-okay now, that the father and son can fight and settle, so maybe there will be no impeachment anymore.
Maybe there will be.
Maybe they will.
Yeah. We'll see. Anyway, let's move on from that. Let's come down to a bit of drum story from states. Okay, just wanted to put it out there also. The Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms has announced their plans to scrap about 50 taxes in Nigeria. They've also released a link for people to put their opinions out there.
All my life as a Nigerian, I've always heard about multiple taxation. And it's crazy, Like, for instance, it is responsible for the high cost of food and commodities that are actually grown in Nigeria. The cost of transporting, goods from one end to the other. The transporters have to pay several fines, and it's replicated from state to state. And at the end of the day, the landing cost is passed on to you and me. We are at the receiving end. Multiple taxations in this form of, taxes that the state government is charging, then local government wants to take the same thing. At some point, federal government is telling you, okay, now, what's going on here? And not trying to be populist, Nigeria needs full tax reforms to the point where people can actually want to pay those taxes. It's scary and daunting when you look at, there's a tax for everything. There's even some taxes in Nigeria that are paid in foreign currency.
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
So
really.
It's good that they are doing these tax reforms. People have clamored for it for decades, but let it trickle down to the masses. Let it trickle down to all of us. I've read a little bit about it, and I like it when government says things like, they care and they're looking out for regular people like me, But when those promises are not fulfilled, we start to lose hope. We start to lose focus.
Anyway, we'll see where all that will go to quickly. Quickly, wanted to talk about some procurement drama that is happening around states. There were talks from Osun State, there's talks from Abia State, Lagos State, and I think most recently even Ekiti State. There's, I think this new trend of state governments deciding to release their procurements on a monthly basis is causing a lot of people are beginning to ask a lot of questions. Not a bad idea, but people are asking questions. But before we get to that quickly, because there's also even an update from Lagos State now about some things that had been happening for the past couple of days. The Lagos State Fire Service, interestingly, for you people that used to beat NEPA officials, that beat fire service officials, all these people, now one person seems to be in police net, and the Lagos State Fire Service has taken up legal action against a Wahid Balogun for assaulting an officer of the agency who was on duty in Kotu area of Lagos State.
Relative of yours?
No.
Okay. All right. The Baloguns will be feeling the effect of this arrest as we speak.
Good luck to them.
But I make light of a very serious matter. It is not that you are not supposed to lay your hands on the people that Olupo listed.
You're not supposed to lay your hands on anybody.
The firefighters. You are not supposed to on any human being. Do you understand? Except you are both in agreement about laying on of hands.
Of hands.
You can make of that whatever you wish. It's up to you, but get your minds out of the gutters. In a serious way, Wahid Balogun should not have done that. For whatever reason, let us try to stay within the confines of that law. This law, if they take and hold you like
that's
this,
the thing. I was going to say that people do these things and they get away with it. See, you never know. It might be the one that you do that will land you in jail.
According to the Minister of Interior, Olubumi Tunji-Ojo, we have over 80,000 people that shouldn't be in prison that are locked up, right? Abi?
Yeah.
And they've started this prison decongestion plan that is fantastic, and it's costing the government 0 kobo.
Yeah.
And the people who are being released are also being mobilized with some funds and all of that. This Wahid Balogun now is trying to make that work hard. Because he has no business in prison.
Yeah, it was an unnecessary.
If he had controlled his anger, but now it's going to pay. And let it serve as a deterrent to everybody else. Don't lay your hands on anybody or use any form of violence against anybody.
You feel that it is okay to be hitting people. Anyway, let's move on from that and let's go on to our procurement issues that we're talking about. So, a lot of conversation has come up with a lot of people talking about Abia governor saying that he had used 927 million naira on meals for 3 months, which they have come to deny. Osun State governor they're saying that he had used about 2 billion naira on meals and welfare packages and 6 billion naira to run his office in 3 months. Also, that the Lagos State had purchased all sorts of things that they're using, I think 7.something million naira.
2 billion for fans and stuff. They've corrected it to 2 million.
I want to know which fan it is.
Yeah, 2 million. It depends
maybe
on the quantity.
Okay, sure. About also using about 7.6 million or something for fragrances in the governor's office. There's also the conversation of a 440 million naira SUV vehicle for the
chief of staff.
For the chief of staff.
Chief of staff has been trending since yesterday.
Now there are updates from it. First update that we got was that the procurement officer talked about how it is very. What was this thing that it was in line with economic services, the current situation
things,
of the country. Now there is another update on that, which I'm like, that can't you people
make up your minds?
The Lagos State Commissioner for Budget and Planning, Okwe Ojo, has now come out to say that the 440 million naira, which I had questions, what was a governor's chief of staff using such? What's your life that you are? Anyway, he's saying that the money and the vehicle is not for the chief of staff.
Okay.
It says that is under the office of the chief of staff, but it is used for dignitaries that come to visit Lagos State.
Okay, I kept on saying this off air that, okay, there's a pool, there's a chief of staff pool and all of that, but that's not even the point. There are a few things that we need to take into cognizance, and we can approach this from different angles, but let me try my best. One, budgeting and cash release are two different things. we must first understand that when they say this is the budget are projections. But what exactly is the cash release or the payment for in the period under review?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not trying to make excuses for them. I'm just saying that it's not everything that you see on a budget that is actually what they spent. They could actually even spend more. So don't get it twisted. But back to the matter. These budgets do not reflect the real situation of the country. Like Nigerians are saying, prioritize other things, regardless of, even if you say, if there's a budget that says it's 2 billion that one governor, maybe in the east or in the west or in the south or in the north, is planning to spend for feeding people. Nigerians are saying, no, why don't you create a budget for empowering people more than feeding people? Now, I am not happy with the style of budgeting that we do in this country. They must change this system to be more detailed, because it's when people now call you out that you now start to say, oh, it's actually, no, let it be captured. Why isn't it captured there? Like, for instance, it was Lagos State that put this thing out on their procurement website. They did it to show that they are a transparent government. Kudos to them for doing it. How many states can do it? We don't know. But shouldn't you have done it to perfection?
Yeah.
To the point where, a big shout out to Mr. Funshaw Doherty, who is a member of the opposition in Lagos. He actually ran for governorship of Lagos. He's a very sound mind. You know, those are the kind of people that you wish, you know, were really going to become governor, because let's leave that. Campaigns are over. But kudos to him for calmly, because he did this a few months ago, and the State House of Assembly invited him, and they responded to him, and he's done it again this time. And he said to them, this is the information that you guys put out, and I am responding to it.
Yeah.
Now, to be honest, even if we've not really caught anybody red-handed, everybody has it at the back of their mind that politicians are stealing money.
Yep.
Everybody has at the back.
It's a thing.
It's a mindset thing, and even politicians too, they also have it at the back of their mind that they are stealing money, even if they're not stealing it allegedly. So, when you want to come to equity, you must come with clean hands. When you want to show the world that you are transparent, don't make mistakes about it. And you must not be vague. You must be clear. You make it clearer, dear Mr. Governor of Lagos and your team. Say in clear terms, this vehicle is for visiting dignitaries. We have presidents and diplomatic corps people coming in, and we can't go to rent this equipment. This car will be around for another 5 years. Do you understand? Be clear. Because there's no way in heaven anybody will explain to me that a chief of staff is getting a 440.
We were talking about it yesterday. This was off air. And I'm like, please, is there a chief of staff of a governor?
Chief of staff is driving 440.
What is the
How
governor
much is governor driving now?
What is chief of? Because I would like to know, what's the chief of staff to the president? What is he driving? Keep in mind, the chief of staff to the president used to be Speaker of the House. He used to be the number 4 man in the country. Oh,
federal. You are talking federal.
That's what I'm saying. That what is the chief of staff to the president now driving? If the one for governor is driving for
aeroplane.
Please, truly, are you sure we're not going to go out? How much is aeroplane safe?
Let them. In fact, me, I want to be chief of staff. If a chief of staff is driving 440 million Lexus bulletproof car or armored car. In fact, how much is armored car? Kuku buy armored car for us.
Any which way.
Whatever you do, Sha.
Whatever, like, sort yourself out. Like, it's not a good look. It definitely.
Break your budgets down further.
Yes, break it down. Let people
prioritize the people. Prioritize the people.
Moving on from that quickly, let's go a little bit international, as Israel and Hamas has now agreed a 4-day truce for the release of 50 Israeli hostages in Gaza.
It's a needless war, I repeat over and over again. I'm glad that there's a 4-day truce. The people who are facing it will breathe. I hope that truce becomes permanent. I hope that Israel and Palestine can find a permanent solution I hope that Hamas will stop being what they are, and that Israel will stop bombarding so much. Let's just stop this senseless war.
Okay, now moving on from that, we are going a little bit to Niger. Niger is also another country that has very unnecessary. They have coups which looks like from the time the coup started, it's just a downward spiral. Now, first, the Niger government, the junta, has now taken ECOWAS to court, asking them to force ECOWAS to lift coup sanctions off them. In the same vein, the ECOWAS Parliament, who they started, I think, a conference in Abuja today, are asking the heads of state of ECOWAS to lift sanctions against Niger Republic.
Separation of powers is one of the strong points of a powerful democracy, where the three arms of government, in the case of Nigeria and West Africa, have independent powers and views. The judiciary, the legislative arm, and of course the executive arm of government. So it's good to see the legislative arm across ECOWAS saying they should remove sanctions. But me, as a person that resides in West Africa, I don't think they should lift any sanctions. These guys came with, a fighting mood. Like, they came guns blazing, they organized the coup. We've not seen the president that was arrested. We've not seen him or heard anything from him in a while. Some of the reforms that the man put in place, you're benefiting from it. The gas pipeline that they were running, it's not gas, it's the crude pipeline that they're running through Benin Republic. Yeah. It's about to start earning them some money because they don't have access to the sea, and they're going to go through Benin Republic. Do you understand? It's the same Niger that the former president of Nigeria is linking by rail. Maradi is going to be a train station attached to the Nigerian rail, built by Nigerians. So it's not as if people were not taking care of them before. And they have resources too, So they are the ones that started it. And now they are saying you should stop. No. Have they fixed a date for the elections if they are not going to return the former president? What exactly have they done? Which of these things have they listened to? So they want to have their cake and eat it. I say no. West Africa must not bow to these dictators. It's a bad sign because it
means that
other
everybody else
people will be encouraged to say, so what it takes is a 6-month standoff and the sanctions get lifted. They need stiffer sanctions. They need stiffer sanctions in Niger Republic.
Any which way, we will see where all that is going. And before we go, let's do a little bit of dive into the world of football, specifically World Cup qualifiers. And it's not going as planned for a lot of people. And that's the truth. It's from Nigeria to South Africa to even Brazil.
Ghana.
A lot of people are collecting as it is because it has been very interesting. There have been talks of Nigeria playing 2 draws in last couple of days. I think there's a board member of the NFF that had come out to say that the NFF cannot afford to sack the coach, which I think that he's horrible. I was going to say, can the governments borrow their money?
Okay. I have a view
Yeah.
about sacking Coach Pesero. I've never been a fan of Pesero. I'm still not a fan of Pesero. I think that he didn't deserve the job. But Ahmad Jupinic, who was former NFF chairman, came with the razzle-dazzle and everything, and they brought Pesero. And go and check Pesero's record since he came. It's backward ever for us. There are Nigerian-born coaches who could have done a better job. There are non-Nigerian coaches who could have done a better job too. But here we are today. However, we cannot make the same mistake we made with the immediate past coach, who is now the coach of Benin Republic. So Pesero has a contract that was extended till the end of AFCON. And in the contract, they set targets for him that he will meet this, and if he doesn't meet it, that he even took a pay cut to stay on until after AFCON. Bringing in a new coach might be detrimental to the entire team. Lose or not, draws or not, I feel that Peseiro must continue until after AFCON. I'm just going to advise Nigerians, remove your mind from AFCON. Do you understand? Just know it's a sacrifice. You know, at least the Eagles will play at least 3 games that are grade A games. It will help their ranking. That's all.
Oh my God.
Remove your mind.
Be like me.
Remove your mind.
don't.
I won't take my own advice. Oh. I mean, Super Eagles fan, true and true. And I know that I'm going to be, Eagles. But the truth is that we have also not been fair to Peseiro. Since he came, hardly has he been paid month in, month out. They're owing him so much money. Then you want to sack him, and you know there's a clause. And those clauses are placed there so that you don't just sack people willy-nilly. You must ensure that he gets paid. So the NFF board member that said what he said was correct by saying they don't have money to, because they're still owing the former oneself.
Any which way, so like I said, a lot of people have been collecting as Lesotho and Benin Republic yesterday played 0-0. Rwanda defeated South Africa 2-0. Burkina Faso defeated Ethiopia 3-0. South Sudan and Mauritania played 0-0. Togo and Senegal played 0-0.
Imagine.
Cape Verde defeated Eswatini 2-0. Cameroon and Libya played 1-1.
Fantastic
and
result for Libya.
And Angola played 0-0.
Yeah. So look at those results. Look at Libya, Cameroon. And we're like, wait, why can't Cameroon overrun Libya? Yeah, why can't? But football, it's football. Yeah. And I'm glad that everybody will hit the factory reset button now and come out and say.
It's interesting. Niger beat Zambia 2-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, Morocco defeated Tanzania 1-0. It's a very, very interesting game. Uganda beat Somalia 1-0.
And one of the biggest results before you go to the Botswana one is Comoros versus Ghana.
Yeah, Comoros defeated Ghana 1-0. This is the second time they are beating
Ghana in your face.
It's very, very, very interesting. So we will see where all that is going. Also, with Euro 2024 qualification, Greece and France pay 2-2.
Imagine, Greece.
All sorts of things. What are you doing? What was that? Romania actually beat Switzerland 1-0. Switzerland is not that good.
Exactly. So there's no big deal in that result.
That's what I'm saying. So my what's it called? They actually got defeated 1-0.
By Romania. What's the difference between two of them? Move on to another result. They are bad,
really?
I beg.
I don't think it's as bad as you're making it.
For who? You are making Switzerland into a big footballing nation now.
It's not as bad.
Are you kidding me right now? Is it because of one player? See, the biggest result is Brazil.
Anyway, Brazil has been beaten 3 times.
They need deliverance.
Now. Argentina beat them 1-0. There was also a lot of drama happened.
There was fan violence.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot.
There's a video of the Brazilian police beating the Argentine fans in the stadium at the Maracanã, trying to, let me assume they were controlling the crowd.
Any which way,
it's not good for the game.
It's definitely not good for the game. But I think that football generally has evolved. So I think nobody should look down on anybody anymore. This particular last week, I think a lot of people have hit the reset button. And we're going to see where that would lead. Anyway, on that note, that is all I'll be able to take today on The Bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you very, very much for watching. We will be back again at 3 p.m. West African time tomorrow to give you another wonderful edition of The Bar. Do you have a beautiful, beautiful day ahead?
Peace.